David Caprara is a freelance journalist working in Japan. He's been talking to Paul Barber.
It's just been dismal approval ratings. NHK, Japan's public broadcaster, did a poll last week, found that Kishida had approval rating of around 25%. That being said, this funding scandal definitely played a huge part in this. However, I think the frustrations here in Japan are much more than just about this one individual, Prime Minister Kishida, but really about politics in general and this party that's been in charge of the Japanese government, the Liberal Democratic Party, since the 1950s, almost every single year, with the exception of 4 years. So, in spite of frustrations, there's also a low voter turnout, and the elections here are just not as contentious as you'd see in other countries like the United States. But I think, the low approval rating, the scandal, it all kind of ties into why people feel frustrated with Kishida, and I think that's ultimately why he decided to step down. It is very critical who this next Japanese prime minister will be and how they will move Japan's foreign policy forward. But I think that also you have to really take into effect who the next president of the United States will be. And a big factor in this is the future Japanese prime minister's ability to deal with whoever the next U.S. president is going to be, whether that's Kamala Harris or President Trump. Shinzo Abe tried very hard to remain close with President Trump when he was prime minister and Trump was president. It was very difficult. Trump has been very critical, valuing on one hand the U.S.-Japan relations, but on the other hand, saying Japan needs to pay up and for its military defense that it is getting from the United States. I think that how Japan and how this future prime minister is able to navigate the roads ahead and maintain this friendship with the U.S. is critical. This idea of Japan, on the road towards its remilitarization or defense, however you want to look at this. This is more than just the prime minister. This is the party, the LDP party, and this train is moving forward. And it is not stopping in terms of the policy of whoever the next prime minister will be. Whether or not Japan's economy can support that is another question. But the general public attitude towards this also, and getting the public on board with this. I think Japan sees itself as a defensive country, and then what it's doing, in this region, trying to rebuild its military up, outwardly, what Japan is saying is that they're trying to maintain defense in Asia-Pacific region that's getting more hostile. And, these kind of hostilities being increased as we're going forward. However, this could be a self-fulfilling prophecy where you go to these islands in Japan and you meet the individuals where Japan is setting up these, defense missile systems and setting up these new self-defense force bases. And there is a lot of public backlash about this and fears among the public that these attempts to defend Japan might be putting Japan right in the target of these sort of hostilities, and maybe stoking fires that might not have existed before. And that is going to be one of the most difficult things moving forward. And absolutely, this idea of defense and how Japan's self-defense forces and perhaps one day a military will look is definitely going to be something that the next prime minister is going to be able to try to really maintain a strong consciousness of how that moves forward. Mm-hmm.